Procedures and functions. Let's rock and roll. Pause the video. Give these two challenges a go yourself first. Okay, so procedures are written exactly the same as a function. So def, I'm going to call it welcome. It hasn't told me to give it a name, so I'm just going to call it welcome. And it says display a message saying hello. So this is a procedure. We can also call it a module. We can also call it a subroutine. But it doesn't return a value. If I was to hit run, nothing's going to happen on my code. That is because I haven't told it to run. I haven't called the procedure. So I'm going to do this. Welcome, open bracket, close bracket. If I hit run now, there you go. So what line number runs first? Well, if I hit run, it actually skips to line 6. Then what happens? It jumps to line 3. Then what happens? It then jumps to line 4, and then it finishes the program. There's nothing left for it to do. This is a procedure called welcome. Let's have a look at the second challenge. It doesn't give us a function name here either, so I'm going to call it def addition. But it does give us some instructions. It's going to take in two numbers as variables x and y. So it's going to take in two. That means it's going to need two numbers passed into it. So it's got two parameters, two arguments. In the main code, which is down here, below the function, I'm going to do x equals 4 and y equals 10. I'm then going to call the function. I'm going to pass in x and then pass in y. So x is 4, y is 10. I'm then going to add up the two numbers together. Total equals x plus y. It then tells us we need to return the value. That basically means a value we've just totaled up. So I need to do return total. I then need a variable to store this. So if I say display it, I hit run, it will say 14 because 10 plus 4 is 14. I could do it also as int inputs. Enter number, okay, cool. And there you go. So, terminology, function, returns a value to the main code, which is down here, so that we can use it in other places. This is us calling the function called addition. We're passing in two parameters or two arguments, x and y. It tells us here to do that. We're then going to run our procedure, which is adding, addition, and we're returning the results to the main code. Let me give you another challenge. Okay, here's a challenge. Pause the video. This is, by the way, one big challenge, and give it a go yourself first. Okay, so let's do it. We need to create a function called password checker. So def password checker. I've created it. Happy days. I'm not going to do the function code yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say done. Allow the user to type in the password called enter password, but it doesn't tell me that I have to do this in the function. There's nothing saying here I need to do this in the function. So I'm going to do this in the main code. Simple. The function should check to see if the password matches or doesn't match hello123. So what I need to do is actually say, yo, function, do your job. So I'm going to call it. But I need to give it the password that the user has typed in, which is that. This needs to also have the password that the user types in, because it's going to go from here to here. Inside a function, we're going to do a simple if statement. If enter password equals hello 1 2 3 4. So just and go across this out. I've done this bit. it tells us, so if it does match, return a message called yay. So I'm going to do return yay. It matches basically. Else return nay. When we return, we need to return it to a variable inside our main code to store the result. So I'm going to call this result equals. So I've done this, I've done this, and I've done this. The final thing is display the result. Print result. So now, if I enter in hey, nay, because hey is not hello 1 2 3 4. Done. So a recap. This is me entering the password in the main code. The job of the function is just to check the password and say yay or nay. That's it. Not to let me type in the password. Nice and simple. This is me now returning a result and displaying it. If I was not to do this, I hit run. I enter in hello 1 2 3 4. Nothing's going to happen because I'm not printing out the result. This bit is essential. Most people forget to do this. Have a variable equals. So what's going to happen is this variable is going to store whatever is returned from this function. Let's give you another challenge. Okay, guys. Pause the video. Give this question a go. Alright, so we're going to create a function called password length, create a variable called enter password. Let's do the function first. So def password length. In the exam, if I'm writing it out, I just like to leave a big space like that. Create a variable called enter password that'll be passed to the function. So as I can see, it's going to be passed to the function. It means it's not going to be in the function. So I'm going to do enter password. Input, enter a password. I need to now pass this to my function. Password length, enter password. So done, done. Have the enter password value checked to see if it is greater than 4 characters. Okay, well, I need to put in here enter password because that's what we're going to be checking. If the length of enter password is greater than 4, return a message saying appropriate size. Else, return too short. We need a variable to store it, so I'm going to call it result, and I'm going to then display the result. So we run a code. If I do yo, it's an appropriate size. It's a sucky password, but it's the appropriate size. If I was to do beard, it's an appropriate size. If I was to do yo, too short, there we go. Folks, I'm going to give you another style question. It's going to be slightly different to this. Okie dokie, so pause the video, give this question a go yourself first, and then we will go over it. Okay, so let's just go through this, blah, 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 need 2 variables, so I know that it's got 2 variables to be passed in. It's going to do a calculation of result equals length times height, easy enough. Return the result and display it in the main code, call the function area. Inside the function, remember that is multiply, and return the result. In the main code, we're going to have to do length equals int input enter length, height equals int input enter height. Let's call it area, Let's pass in length and height. And let's put in length and height here. Do not forget that. And finally, let's do our result equals. So, and then print it. There you go. My advice is copy some of my challenges into ChatGPT and ask it for it to generate new challenges for you. Do the solution in ChatGPT and ask it to mark it for you. And finally, let's give you some challenge questions on the theory. Give me two names that we can call a function or procedure. Pause the video. You can call them subroutine or a module. My next question to you. What is the difference between a function and a procedure? Pause the video. So a function returns a value whilst a procedure does not.